Hey everyone, welcome to this quick tutorial on N8N. N8N is one of the most powerful tools for building AI agents without complex coding. And today I'll show you how to automate tasks and create intelligent workflows in just minutes. So let's just dive in. So first of all, we need to know what is N8N. N8N is an open source workflow automation platform that's changing the game for a lot of people, especially non-developers. Think of it as building blocks for automation. You can connect apps, services, and APIs with little knowledge of coding and using their drag and drop interface. And the best part is that you can self-host it for free or use their cloud version. It's more like Zapier or make.com, but N8N is more flexible and it has more power under the hood. So why should someone learn N8N? First, it lets you build AI agents without writing complex code. And you can connect multiple services with just drag and drop. So this saves hours of repetitive work through automation. Even for people who have background in coding, it could save you time because, as you know, to set up your own automation using, for example, Python, you have to go through hours of installing the dependencies, testing it, deploying it. But with N8N and its drag and drop interface, it will save you a lot of hours. Plus, you can extend your existing tools and create complete custom solution for unique business problems. So in today's AI-driven world, this is a very big superpower. So how do we set up N8N? N8N has different options how you can set it up. The first one is using the cloud. It's cloud version, which is the faster one. Here you have to get their cloud, you have to open n8n.io, create an account. And after creating its account, you'll have a 14 days trial. After those 14 days, you have to upgrade to keep using it. If you don't want that, you can use Docker or you can install it using npm. So let's discuss about the N8N environment. So as you can see here, I've already signed up on N8N. I'm using their cloud version. I will explain in my later videos how to install it using Docker or even deploy it on your own cloud service. So first of all, as you can see, we have a beautiful canvas here, and here it's showing me the workflow name. I can change its name, call it first workflow. And what is a workflow? Workflow is, I can call it as a set of all automation steps. So that's where you come here and add all the steps of all your automations. And those steps are actually nodes. So nodes are building blocks of workflows. And we have the execution log, where like you have to track your execution and track the performance. If any node is failing, N8N will let you know. And you have variables panel where you can like store all your variables here. For example, API keys or other kind of variables. And as you can see, it's very straightforward. You have to get familiar with this environment is very straightforward. So as you saw, the nodes are building blocks of N8N. We need to understand the nodes. What kind of nodes can we use? So the first type of nodes are trigger nodes, and most of them are start workflows. For example, you can say, okay, I want to schedule all of this workflow to work maybe every 8 a.m. every morning. They can be webhooks. And we have also action nodes. Action nodes can be API calls. They can be data processing. We have AI nodes to connect to service like OpenAI Cloud. We have flow control, which can be if else condition, loops and switch. We have helper nodes also, which can be transform data and manage variables. So without further ado, let's create our first workflow, and we'll get to know N8N by practicing it. So let's create our first workflow. Our first workflow that we are going to create is an automation that search news about a topic that we'll choose, and then send us updates every 1 hour on our Telegram, so that we can be updated every 1 hour. So the first thing that we need to do is to add the trigger nodes. Whenever we add the first step in our canvas, we'll see that we only have trigger nodes. So we have different types of trigger nodes. We have trigger manually. This runs whenever a button on N8N is clicked. We have on app event. This one is a very powerful one. It lets you connect your workflow with external apps like Telegram, Notion, and whenever, for example, you receive a message on Telegram, then the workflow will run. We have the scheduler. This one is the one we are going to use. We have webhook call, which lets you run the flow when the HTTP request we set is called. We have on form submission. We have also when executed by another workflow. This means that one workflow can execute another one. We have chat message, and we have others. So the first node that we are going to need is a scheduler. We need to add to receive our news every 1 hour. We test the step, and it's tested. We need to add a second step, which will be a node that will hold our variables. So in coding, you know that programs need variables to run. So it's the same case also for the workflow. So for adding variables, we need to choose data transformation, edit fields, and we can manual map different variables. We need to choose the topic, and let's choose maybe soccer transfer news. We test the step, and now we can use this variable all over our following nodes. And the following node that we are going to need is the one that will actually scrape data from Google. So we are going to use this SERP API, and this is a very real-time API to access Google search results. And we are going to need actually an API key. So you need to hop over SERP API and copy your key, and we are going also to add it into a variable, SERP API key, and we paste it, test the step again, and we need to create the next node will be an HTTP request. So we need to go over its documentation and see how we will make this request. We need Google News, and this is how the request will look like. We're going to search for an example. This is a get request. We copy, and we can choose expression and make it large. So as you can see, we have SERP API. We in query parameters, we have engine, which is Google News. We have query, which is pizza here. So we need to change. So to use the variables in N8N is very straightforward. We can drag and drop, for example, topic, and drop it here. And US and English as a language. We also need to add API key, which will be our SERP API key. And this is all we need to send a request. We need to test, and we have our actually results here. We have news results, transfer news live, Sky Sport. So the following thing that we need is we need to format our results. We cannot send actually things like this on our Telegram. That's why I'm going to introduce also AI, we are going to use an OpenAI to take the results, format it, and then give us a beautiful result. So I'm going to choose OpenAI, a message model, and we will need an OpenAI account. We'll need a API key. For the API key, you need to go to OpenAI and open the API keys on platform.openai.com and create a new key, and you can come and copy and paste it here. And we need to message it. We need to give it an instruction. By the way, here we need to choose a model that we'll use. Let's choose the latest 4.0, and we need to tell it, okay, you are going to format the news from SERP API result and format it to match Telegram message format. Because we have a lot of items, I need to tell it to summarize it to not exceed Telegram message word count. Then we need to copy and paste. We need to find a way to actually get these news results inside here. So I'm going to copy and paste one code, and then I'm going to explain to you how it works. So in N8N we can actually use JavaScript, and then here we will say JSON. It will take the results of the previous node. .news results. This means that it will go into this object, and then we will map it into it, and then we just need the title, the link, and the date, and then we just let OpenAI do its job. When we click on test, we wait for a few seconds. And then we have our beautiful results. But then as you can see here also, in a response, it's not beautiful. We will see if it will be beautiful in our Telegram. So we need to add another step, which is Telegram. At Telegram, we need to send a chat, send a text message. So we need to take this content and become the text. We need to set credentials for Telegram. So as we are going to use Telegram chatbot, so the first thing that we need to know is how to create a chatbot. For those who don't know, we need BotFather, and we can actually send it new bot, and then we will choose the name, and then it will give us the token. Let's actually create a new bot, and then we call it fast workflow bot. Okay, workflow bot, and then we'll receive our API key. This is the one you're going to copy and then use in our credentials. Access token, save, and then successfully saved. For the chat ID, we are going to first go to this chatbot, start, and then get ID, and we will get that the ID is this one, is the one we are going to paste inside here, and we test the step. And if we go back to our chatbot, as you can see, I have all my news here Premier League, Chelsea and PSG are set to challenge Manchester United for Victor Osimhen. And as you can see, this workflow will run every 1 hour, and it will give me few details on news that have been in the past 1 hour, and then I can be able to go ahead and search for them easily. Thank you very much. Hope this workflow was very useful, and we'll be creating more complex workflow in the next videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next one.